In this quick video, I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can make your own backing papers or background papers for your junk journals, for your glue books, for your collages, for your art journals. You can use them however you want, and they're super easy and super fast. So to start with, I'm going to be using tracing paper. Now you can probably use vellum or other kind of paper, well, anything you want really. But I'm going to use tracing paper because what I like about it is that you can see through it. And so you can have, I had a little piece here we go. You can actually see through it, and it gives, if you've got something in the background, it gives a really nice effect. So I'm starting with this, and my materials are archival ink, which is waterproof. That's important because if you use paints or anything wet like glue and your ink is not waterproof, it will run and smear. So that's not a good thing. So all we're going to do is stamp on this paper, and then I can use it however I want. So I have this little border, and I'm going to try not to get ink on my hands, which I frequently do. So I'm going to do this differently. I always forget to do this. That is, turn it over. Now I can see that some areas are not getting any ink. And what I want to be careful to do with this one in particular is wobble it back and forth, because then you get ink all over the acrylic base. That looks like it'll work. So now I could do a whole row of these. This isn't straight. It's a little bit off, but I could do a whole row of these and then cut that out and use it for a border. And I can even, go again, and it's a little bit softer and sort of more vintagey looking. There's a start. Now I'm going to pretend I didn't put that on there, and I'm going to take this and this like that, and then again just ink it really well like this. And stamp it, and you can stamp randomly whatever you want. I like the effect of when there's less ink because, like I said, it looks kind of vintagey. And then I'll just peel this one off and put another one on. These things are so sticky, which is a good thing, of course, but you still have to be able to move them. And then again, just make sure it all gets inked. And sometimes I just kind of use the edge or the corner to get into these broader spaces. And now I could do this way, whichever way I want to. Here's another one. Now you don't actually need to have one of these bases, because I can just take this like this, just, ink it, the part that I want, and then put it down like that, which I think is very nice. Another one here. And the idea here is not perfection, it's just design. So whatever comes out is what I get. And then if I wanted to do a little bit more images, and I could go with something like this. And these stamps I've gathered from different places. Sometimes some of them were in those English magazines, like a card making magazine, where they give you free stuff in the magazine, which, the magazines are not inexpensive, so how free the stuff is I don't know, but it's kind of fun where you get the ideas how to use it at the same time. See, isn't that fun? And I can just keep going like this. Here's a daisy. I'll just put some of these on here. Again, making sure that all the little surfaces are inked. There you get some variation that fades out. I also have some of these which are you know, a little bit different, just for some variety. There, that gives you a good idea of how you can just make a background. And because it's on tracing paper, you can actually put it on top of something as well. So it's kind of a different kind of background. So that's one idea. I'm just going to put these over to the side and clean them up later. Here's a page that I did for practice. This is actually 2 sheets. I picked it up and thought I would tear it and see how it glued, and ended up with 2 sheets. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to put my parchment underneath it just to give you one more idea. And this is just in case the color goes through. I don't want it on that because I can use that now. This one, all you need is the paper and a pen. And all you do is hold it loosely like this and make shapes like this. So you can do that for a whole sheet, a half a sheet, a quarter sheet, whatever. And that's one thickness of pen. And then here's another one. This is a 0.05 micron. Again, just add to it, make kind of an abstract design. Another thing you can do with these is make a repeating design like that. Stars, leaves, on stems, whatever you like. And then you just use the piece, you don't have to cut them out one at a time. Okay, so there's that, and then I'm going to just move this quickly. And there's also watercolor. Now, I haven't used watercolor on this tracing paper, but I have got it wet. Now, just so you know, if you don't work with wetness a lot, when you start, you'll realize that papers really respond way differently on different kinds of paper. So in this case, because you can see the brush strokes here, but then we have to find out what's going to happen when it dries. So I'm going to dry it, and you can see the effect that you get here. You will almost always get warping unless it's a really heavy paper, but the paper will always react somehow to the wetness. So this gives a really interesting effect because it doesn't soak in at all on this paper. Now, moving along, there is also tissue paper that you can use. And you can do these same things on all the tissue paper you want. It has a different kind of effect. Where's my butterfly? There we go. I'm just going to use this because it's already stuck there. And the paper is going to react differently also to dampness. And most of the glues are damp, even ones that are glue sticks that seem like they're not. Just let your glue stick dry out and you'll find out how damp they are. So this also works just as well. And another interesting aspect of it, just let me do this little daisy. Again, keep in mind what happens when it gets wet. So I'm going to just show you quickly what you can do with watercolor paints and a bigger brush, and to just make sort of an all-over color. With tissue paper, it will go right through, and it will also, you have to be fast and you have to not put a lot of water on it. Even if you want it to be fairly washed out, it doesn't really take water very well. It's pretty thin. However, you can do just water and also get an effect. So let's see what happens here. Okay, this gives you an idea of what it does. It gives you a really lovely crinkly effect. Now imagine you could just like dip this in water, you know, tip it so the majority runs off, and then just hang it to dry, and you would get that same effect, quick and easy. I did one earlier using pink, and you can see that crinkly effect you get, which I think is really nice. And you also see the brush strokes then. The other thing you can do with these is use colored paper. So this is colored tissue. You can use any color of stamps or of ink and just have fun with it. So that's all there is for today. Please have a look at these other videos and subscribe if you would like to, and I'll see you next time.